Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year to everyone. Today, we are going to make some authentic Moroccan soup. This recipe is very authentic and it's a national dish in Morocco. We do call it harira, which means in Arabic soup. And this is very, very popular. And what we need to make this soup is um, we need a lot of celery, which is about I put here about three, and the heart. The reason why I use the heart, because most of the time the heart of the celery stays in the fridge and we don't use it. So this is one way to use that's the inside of the celery, and it's really makes it really tasty as well. I need about 3 or 4 tablespoons of coriander, but I would put some at the beginning. Then I would put some at the end of the soup when I finish to garnish with it. I would need a tin of green lentils. That's what I am using, and a tin of chickpeas. The reason I usually use fresh ones, I soak them and put them in the water overnight, or for 1 or 2 hours before, then boil them. But today I'm using tinned ones because just to reduce the time and to reduce the cost as well of the energy. And I need a medium size onion. I need about 2 tablespoons of tomato puree, half carton of passata, tomato passata, and for the spices, I would use turmeric, ginger, and black pepper. These three, this combination, it makes this soup really very tasty. And again, as I stress it out, that the use of turmeric in the food, it's really very good for everyone who's wants some superfood supplements. The ginger for the time is very nowadays, or now it's very getting very cold. Ginger, as we all know, it's good for to keep the body warm and to stop a bit of like having a cold. And we always use ginger and lemon, so it's better to use it as well in your food, and in the soup it would be really a good warming recipe. This recipe usually is made all year round, but precisely just to give you a little bit of awareness about the cultural awareness, we use it at Ramadan time. And the Ramadan time, every house has this recipe, and a lot of people they make it as a starter, like after the fast, and we serve it with some dates and some sweet pastries, which is we make specially at Ramadan time. So let's start now. So what we are going to use vegetable oil. I would say about so just excuse me to put this the hob on. Sorry, it's just to get started with the. So 2 to 3 spoons of vegetable oil. That's what we start with. Then we add the onions. Like I said, 1 medium onion. And what I would say about this recipe, if you think like the ingredients we are, like the base we are going to make is too much for you, you can always make the base, then freeze it, which is you can use it like have it twice and have some base in the freezer. And I will show you how to how to um, how to do it later. So celery, we are adding celery here, and like you say, plenty celery. And celery, it's a good body warmer as well. But just to mention there, be aware of the if you have any allergies to celery, please be aware of that, or any member of your family that has allergies, just to make sure you don't use them, or they know about it. A bit of salt. So just to get started with the, so what we're looking to do is just to soften a bit this onion and celery, not too much, but just a bit. And because we are using the chickpeas and the lentils like from the tin, it would be really a quick process to make this soup, because the main ingredients that they take time to cook it are the chickpeas and the lentils, if they are like from dry, if they are cooked from dry. So once we start to boil, or to just start to warm up, we are going to add our spices. A good teaspoon of ginger. Don't be shy. And like I said, this soup is really a body warmer. It's something that you just want to hook the bowl and sit and have it when it's really cold. A half teaspoon of turmeric, like a generous one. And I don't use too much pepper, because you can always add it after, but about half teaspoon. Because, and also I don't use much pepper, because some people they don't like it. And if you think you're having problem with pepper, what you can do is don't put it in, just put ginger and turmeric. That's what I can advise you. Please, if you have any questions, just pop them in and I will answer you later, or as I would say your questions and answer. So that's our base really start to, and we haven't put any water yet. We just want that the spices and the onion and the celery to soften a bit. Any questions, please pop them in. So now I'll add some coriander. We usually add coriander and parsley, and I would say about 3 full tablespoons. You honestly, it's no wrong or right about the quantities of coriander and celery. The reason why, the more you put in, the taste of this soup would be just really amazing. That's what I do, and even like now, I put some coriander here, like now about 3 tablespoons. At the end, I would add a bit before I serve it, and that's just to bring all the flavors together. And just at this point, if it starts to stick or anything, just put the heat down a bit, and add a bit of water if it's necessary. The smell is really lovely. I wish we could have something to get people to smell online. A bit of water just to start it off. And the other thing with this recipe is vegetarian. and I would say it's vegan as well. And with all the food and lovely turkey and meats and everything we had over the Christmas, this is really a good one to just have a rest of any meats and start having going back to normal and making some vegetarian recipes. So that side. Um, this is all sauce. So there are the main ingredients. I keep saying it again to cook the celery and the onions. So just keep it. I'll just keep closer so you can see how it looks. So at this point here, I would add, well, today because I am using the green lentils from the tin, they are already cooked. So what I would do, if I was to use the dry ones, I would add them now and just add some water and leave them to cook like with the celery and onions and the other spices. But because I am using cooked ones, I would add the water and I would add the passata. And what I'm doing there is making that base of the. So I'll just add that's the small tin of passata. Um, then add some water, and preferably if you add some hot water, so that will bring the boil, bring everything to the boil quickly. So you can see everything it's mixed together, and that's the base. I'll just finish this carton. Passata. And just to mention something, we call this soup is the soup like tangy soup, which is like tangy because it has that sour, that's lemony taste. At the same time with the tomatoes, at the same time it's like fresh with all the vegetables, with the celery and coriander and the onions. So now I would add the puree. As I said, 2 tablespoons of tomato puree. You can always loosen that tomato in the water, then put it in, because it's just like it needs stirring in really well. And just bring everything to the boil. So that's our base really done. And you can see the reddish, you would know your soup is really good because if it's really red, that's the sign of good soup, especially with this one. And if you serve someone, a Moroccan person, a soup as red as this or really red with all the other tastes, they would be really happy. That's this how to show a good soup. And the red color comes from the tomatoes and the tomato puree. You can use fresh tomatoes if you have I don't know, you might be growing tomatoes and all that. You can grate the tomatoes and put them in instead of the passata. So That's fine. Nothing wrong. The other things you can do, you can use tin tomato, but blend it in a juicer so you don't have all the little bits, and that would be really good as well. So once this is boiling, I am saying this because we are using tinned lentils and tinned chickpeas. Because we are using them cooked, I would just put them in. And what that would do would warm them through. At the same time, we are having that base, that recipe base or that soup base. So one tin of lentils and one tin of chickpeas. So if you say, I'll just show you the texture. This is really our lovely soup. Look, but we are going to do something else to it. We are going to add to thicken it because if it's watery, you don't want it too watery and you don't want it too thick. You just want it moderate in middle or in between. So just keep looking, and all this. So the chickpeas getting warm and the lentils getting warm as well. And just bring everything to the boil. I would say I would leave it for about 5 minutes to boil and if all the flavor to blend together. While I'm doing that, what I have here to thicken it is corn flour. I would say I have about 2 to 3 tablespoons, but once you just have to judge with your eye, and I'll just mix the same procedure we do with the gravy. That's the same thing we use when we do this when we do the thickening. So all these little hints and tips to just to give you an idea how to do it. And so that's how you want the corn flour. If you say it's not thick, it's thinner, then what we'll do is we just add a little bit what we need. We don't have to throw it all at once. The same way we do with the gravy. If you like it thin, you can just put a little bit. If you like it thicker, you add more. And with the corn flour, it does get thicker sometimes quickly. So then we'll bring it to the boil again. You might ask me or might have the question where, how do I know this soup is ready? So can you say this, like the foam on there? I don't know if you can see it there properly. I just bring it. It's like a foam on the sides or all the edge. We need that to disappear. That's how we know it's ready. We keep boiling it. Some people they say, oh, if you use corn flour, you don't have to cook it. But I prefer it cooked. The other thing I would say, if you don't have corn flour, you can use flour in the same way we do with the gravy, but just be aware that you might have a bit of lumpy, like just keep stirring, keep turning, like don't stop when you have that. Make sure when you put the flour in to keep stirring so you don't have them lumpy um, textures. So can you see now how it is? And to me, I prefer it a bit thicker than that. So I'll just add a little bit and keep stirring. Put the fire down a bit so it's not bubbling over the. If you have any questions or anything that you would like to say to ask, just please put it on the chat and I will get back to you as soon as I can. So just keep, don't want it to stick at the bottom as well. And please let me know if you make it, how did you find it, and any difficulties or anything that you find hard, just let me know so I can give you some alternative for whatever. And as I said, if you have allergies, don't put the celery in, just put onions and coriander. And if you have parsley, add some parsley as well. So that would replace the celery. Just keep stirring and like I said, we don't want this foam. That's what I'm after to make it disappear. And that was my questions when I was very young, when I learned to make this soup. How do I know it's cooked? So that's how I know now. I just keep bubbling it, keep boiling it until all the foam disappears. You can always taste just to see if the salt is enough salt. That's plenty there. You can always put salt on your own bowl. It's not right. So you don't want too much salt. And the salt I put at the beginning just to make the celery and the onions, like to make them cook and bring their flavors together. You can see how it is. It's coming up. So we'll just boil it for a bit. And while I'm doing that, I'll just get ready to serve it. Like I said, I have left a bit of celery just to put a little at the end, just to give it a little fresher. So that's what you do. Just leave a little bit of celery and a little bit of coriander, so you can add it at the end, because you would really find the difference just to keep for the freshness, and that's what you need. And just keep it boiling there. And just wait for it to. So really, it's straightforward. The main thing that you do, what you need is to prepare all the ingredients prior. If you have a chopper, use the chopper. Chop the celery, chop the coriander, chop the onions, and after that you have everything ready. Then you just put them together. The other thing I would like to say is, if you have plenty celery or you don't have time for it, do it and put them in portion in the freezer. Then after that, you can have them already, like ready for you for when you want to make this soup. If you make too much, like you chopped too much, you always put them in portions and put them in the freezer. That would give you the ingredients already if you want to make it different in a different day. That's the preparation is really the key. And with the chickpeas and the lentils from the tin. That's really good way, and it is safe. It would be a tasty soup, and it's cheaper on the pocket as well. Both ways, energy saving and money saving for the budget, for the food budget, because the tins of lentils and the chickpeas are cheaper. You can see how I said it's red. Look, if you can, I'll bring it off. So, oops, steaming. So it's a red color, and that's the color you need. You need that reddish, and that's really lovely color. Okay. So, like I said, when you serve it, you can have a little treat there, and usually it's all different. So, and you can say it's the foam or at the top is start to disappear. It's not much as it was before. You just keep stirring because you don't want that. It's the same principle when you cook the gravy. That's I always compare them together. The same thing for when you do the thickening. Any questions, please feel free to ask. That's I'm just waiting for it to boil now. Pardon me. What's that? So let's see. So the texture and the like the thickness. Look, you don't want it very runny because you won't like. I don't think you would like it, but I don't. I'm not going to speak to anyone. But this is this is what you need. That you want it like this, and you want it not very thick, but just in between. So if you see when I serve it, it's just that right texture and right everything. And you can this is you can be as a starter, or you can serve it as a main course. You can serve it with some bread, crusty bread, and like I said, some little bits other than bread, like I said, what we do, we serve it with some dates and some lemon wedges. Yeah, because I said, so you just go with the lemon wedges, you squeeze a little bit, then you have it. And the the last bit that I would go for is always nice to see a bit of green like that. So that's our recipe today. I hope you like. So that's our recipe. If you see how it looks. Oops. So that's what it is. And like I said, you try it with dates because you would have that sweet and sour in different ways this time. And you might think, oh, I'm not sure about that, but try it. You might just like it. Thank you. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you for attending my session, and looking forward to do another one with you. Thank you very much. Bye now.